Hi, everybody. Welcome back to NJ.com's coverage of field hockey. We are doing our first field hockey video, Paul, alongside me, Paul Bruno.
Season.
And the state tournament has heated up. I guess you could say that. We had a little bit of snow this past weekend, so it's maybe not so quick as these games want to get played, but we've started. So where do you want to start with this?
Yeah, well, the weather's certainly cooled down, but the field hockey's warming up. Let's start with Group 1.
Okay.
Section 2, Group 1, which is going to be one of the premier showdowns of the state tournament.
Yeah, and actually on Sunday, this past Sunday, we had two teams, Knoll, ranked number 1, and Shore, ranked number 4, both win their county tournaments. And they have a little bit of work to do before we get to that showdown, but it could be Shore versus Knoll for the North 1, Group 1, North 2 Group 1 sectional title, and that would be obviously a tremendous game.
Correct. And again, last year, everybody was expecting that matchup, and Shore got upset by Pingree, so
absolutely.
Could that happen again on either side for both those teams?
I know Shore has been, it's sort of almost the same position Knoll was in last year, where they had a lot of, Knoll lost in the sectional final in 2009, lost in the county final in 2009, really used that as, to spur them on last year to win their first TSC title. So I know Shore is sort of in that position this year. They want to get back to that. You want to talk about some of the players from Shore? I mean, they're loaded, obviously.
Yeah, so. Aileen Johnson, her sister in goal. And then Knoll's got that big winning streak going. Was it 53 games now?
I think it's 47
47?
Right now.
Hey, what's 53 or 47?
They have, obviously, Teresa Benvenuti, Ryan McCarthy, Eli Jacobson, all first state for us last year. So they're going to pose a threat to anybody that they face. And, again, their biggest threat could come from Shore if they get to that game. So, And Group 2, obviously, is strong as well.
Yeah, Section 1, Group 2, we got a big matchup tomorrow on Wednesday, Madison and Chatham.
Right.
Big rivalry. They split 2 times this year, so they're playing at Chatham at 12 o'clock. Madison just beat West Morris last week for the Morris County title. So, and that's going to be interesting. And the winner of that game will play, most likely, West Essex in the sectional semifinal.
Yeah.
So, those teams have met several times in the final in that section last year, so they see them meet if Chatham loses to Madison, if Madison and West Essex do play. And then on the other side, you could have maybe the 2 higher seeds, maybe Ramsey getting to the final against one of those 2 teams. So.
And you have West Essex, a team who their only loss this year is to Knoll. They lost by 2 goals. They played very well in that game. Another team who's looking to, sort of avenge what happened last year. They got to the Group 2 final last year, lost in overtime. Or not overtime, they actually lost with the waning seconds of regulation.
Yeah, West Essex lost Bishop Eustace, right.
So.
And now South Jersey, Group 4, you've got Perennial Power Eastern going for their 13th group title. They're going to have a tough time as usual. They've got to go, Shawnee moved up to Group 4 this year, so they've got to play Washington Township now in the sectional semifinal. And Washington Township had them on the ropes last year in the South Jersey final. They had them down 3-2. Eastern scored late and then won in overtime and went on to the TFC final. So that's going to be a great game. And then if they play, whoever wins that game
could play
Shawnee.
Possibly.
So you could have a huge matchup for South Jersey Group 4.
So would you call this Eastern's toughest trip to maybe get to, the group finals?
Yeah, possibly. Washington Township's played them twice already. They've played Shawnee, so I think they've beaten them both twice. So it's going to be a great game. Eastern's got a younger club this year, but they've been producing just like as old. The offense is just crushing everybody.
And then you have on the other side up north, you have Bridgewater, who's sort of their record. They're 17-3. They lost a couple games this year. They lost to Warren Hills. They lost to Knoll. They lost to Petty, but they've won I think 11 in a row. They're playing very well right now. The last 6 years, Eastern and Bridgewater have met in a Group 4 final. This could, it could be another showdown between those schools. I know Bridgewater seems to improve every year in that game. Last year was only 2-0 in the final. The year before that, they actually scored a goal. The first time they've done that against Eastern. So, again, it could be real interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, they had a tough time last year. Montclair gave them a good run in the sectional or the state semifinal, but Bridgewater's been there 8 straight years or 7 straight years?
Yeah, and then last year I think Montgomery actually took them the Strokes. I think in the sectional final. Was it? So I mean, there's a lot of work to be done. We're looking ahead to just potential matchups. It's funny because we're sitting here on November 1st, and by the 13th we're going to know who the final 8 teams in the state are with the group finals down at Tom's River East.
Hopefully we get no more snow.
Yeah. Lord only knows what happens then. Then we have the TSC semis that week, and then the TSC final is going to be on November 20th at C&J.
Yep.
And if we get a game like last year, Eastern and Knoll, again, I don't know if you could ask for more than that.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm Paul Bruno. This is Chris Orlando for NJ.com, and we'll see you down at Tom's River.